What on earth was that fourth quarter? The Arizona Cardinals survive the Carolina Panthers. They break the curse. A win is a win. Now we move forward 2-0. PHNX Cardinals now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. Good hell, it's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Kindly like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He's the playmaker, former Arizona Cardinal wide receiver Brittan Golden. We've got Brack at State Farm Stadium. In just a little bit, the Arizona Cardinals survived. They beat Bryce Young and company 27-22 after being up Brittan Golden 27-3. We're going to break everything down. Hear from Jonathan Gannon, hear from Kyler Murray. I want to remind everybody, this postgame show, hammer the like button, is brought to you by our friends at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the bonus code PHNX365. Deposit 10. Place a bet, get $5, $200 in bonus bets. Oh, man. Where do we begin? The Cardinals were in complete control. They had a dominant 3 quarters of play. And I think a lot of people just kind of checked out, except for the Carolina Panthers, who, give them credit, felt like the Cardinals were going ultra conservative in the fourth quarter. It was not a good fourth quarter for JG's coaching staff. And, I mean, these are pros. And you let the Carolina Panthers back in this game, and they damn near took it from you.
Yeah, they did. I mean, we said at the beginning, we didn't want it to be, talking after the game about how well Bryce Young played. But aside from those first 2 drives, Bryce Young played an excellent game of football. He controlled the game. Outside of that, he moved the ball down the field. I mean, the defense, we got a lot of pressure the first couple drives, and then it just kind of seemed like there was just a lack of pressure for the rest of the game. Now, you started to kind of build it back up at the end of the fourth quarter there. You got Calais had a couple sacks at the end of the fourth quarter there. You were getting pressure, but the penalties just murdered you. It just got worse and worse, and the secondary's depleted, and we're starting to see, like, you don't have as much depth in that secondary as you thought you had coming into the season. Like, it's a major fall off from these guys that are starting to what's coming in.
Yeah, you're concerned about Max Melton, who left the game in the first half, and then Garrett Williams shouldn't have even been out there in that position because this game should have been over. Got hurt on, I believe, the 2-point conversion. And so the Cardinals, the last possession, was Will Johnson, Keitrell Clark, Rabbit Taylor Demerson. I mean, give them credit. They stood up in the end. Denzel Burke, who I thought, listen, that officiating was garbage. It was trash at the end of the game. That hold on Denzel Burke when the Cardinals basically strip sacked Bryce Young on 4th and 16. That was an egregious call. Let me just start off by saying this. I don't like to bang on officiating. It's a hard, difficult job. Those men, that was an embarrassing final possession. And I think, the Cardinals brought it on themselves. They left themselves vulnerable to that because they missed the onside kick. But the roughing the passer on Josh Sweat, get the hell out of here with that. That was atrocious. And then, it felt like a little bit of a makeup call with Bryce Young with the intentional grounding. I mean, it was an embarrassing, probably like 10 to 20 minute segment of officiating for the NFL. And thank God it didn't cost the Arizona Cardinals. Like, they cost themselves. They put themselves in that position. But that officiating, it almost felt like, Brittan, the officiating, they had checked out when the rest of us had checked out. I was getting the show notes ready. And then they're like, oh no, we got to lock in for this final possession. None of us are sharp. And, thankfully Calais Campbell saves the day.
I mean, the defensive line, they started off the game really well. They finished the game really well. There was a little, lackadaisical moments in the middle. But, yeah, officiating-wise, the roughing the passer was an awful call. It's a
was.
terrible call because even you can't even make the case of he landed with his body weight because he didn't land with his
No.
body weight. He made a tackle. He even held off. He could have completely plastered the man down there. It was a horrible, horrible call. Now, the defensive holding calls, yes, you don't want to see them called because yes, it was a strip sack, but I'm telling you, if you reach out and you grab and you hinder any receiver's motion, that is going to be thrown.
But can you throw that in that scenario when it's fourth?
You don't want to see it, but
that
it's
was a bailout call.
And it's been such an emphasis since probably 2014, 2015. They've made such an emphasis over here about the defensive holding and the illegal contact, and it's such a jump, right? I mean, 2-9 he's right out of college too. In college, you can bump, you can illegal contact, you can grab a little bit 15, 20, 30 yards downfield. You can't do that in this league. Once 5 yards is gone, it's a penalty. If you reach out and you grab a jersey and he sees a jersey being called, it's going to get thrown. So at that point, you want to just say it like, I understand you're trying to make a play and you're not trying to get beat, but this is move your feet. Stop guessing. Play the game like you know you're supposed to because those are going to get called every single time. Now, thankfully, Calais Campbell is Calais Campbell. And even at 39 years old, the man is a monster and coming up massive because Lord knows we already gave up a 4th and 16 just a couple drives before, and you got another one right here. Lord knows what happens if he gets this pass off.
Put him in the Ring of Honor right now. Put him in the Hall of Fame eventually. He's our X Factor player of the game. Number 93 seals it. Calais Campbell's 5 total tackles, 4 solos, 2 sacks, 2 QB hits, and both sacks coming in the fourth quarter. He was a menace. He was playing his ass off. I thought Josh Sweat played a good game. I thought Dante Still played a good game. Still waiting for D-Rob to take off a little bit, but Baron Browning had the pick. Baron Browning had a couple QB hits. Cardinals defensive line could be better, yes, but here's where I'll give them credit. It was better than last week. And now, you're seeing it, and we've talked about it, Brittan. The Cardinals didn't hit during preseason. These guys, Calais and Sweat, and these older players, Dalvin Tomlinson, they had a very, I don't want to call it vanilla training camp because that's a disrespect to the work that they put in, but they didn't hit a lot. Because they've been playing late into January, February if you're Sweat, and Calais Campbell's almost 40 years old. So last week against the Saints, it wasn't a very physical defensive line performance. Well, you got much better today, and you want to continue to roll that over. I mean, the Carolina Panthers, I'll give them all the accolades. They stuck in there. They hung tight. Tetero McMillan's big time. But the Cardinals, you had to win this game. It doesn't matter what it looks like. I see a lot of people upset online. Guys, it's a win. A win is a win. And you can feel good about the fact that the Cardinals outplayed the Panthers the entire game. They were up 27-3. And guess what? Then they lost focus. That's a coaching piece. Assuming that, they can get their secondary figured out, and we're going to have a conversation about that. They're a better team. They have better personnel. They showed that, right? Same thing with last week. This team just needs to stop checking out in the third and fourth quarter and find a way to finish these games off. And I thought we were at that point, but regardless, doesn't mean the season's over. It doesn't mean this team isn't any good. They're 2-0. You know how many you think the Giants wouldn't take these 2 wins? You think the Broncos, who just lost in egregious fashion, wouldn't pay to be 2-0? I mean, this team's been 1-3 each of the first 2 years under Gannon. They're 2-0 now, and listen, their schedule's favorable. They should continue to stack wins. So I'm never going to apologize for a double, even if it looks like this, Brittan.
No, I mean, and like you said, we talked about it before the game too, as well. Starting 2-0 is big. Yes, they're 2 awful teams. They're 2 awful teams. I mean, defensively, you made Carolina's offense look elite in this third quarter and fourth quarter. You let them move the ball and put points on the board. You made them look elite. The first half was a different story. You looked really, really good on defense, but you got to take the 2-0 win. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've seen a Cardinals team. I mean, it was before I got here, but you saw a Cardinals team go 4-0 and then lose 13 straight. So it's not a. But we're patting ourselves on the back right here. But 2-0 is it. You're moving.
Didn't it feel like too? And people are putting in the chat the Cardinals played underneath coverage. They didn't want to allow the big play. I think they did it last week against the Saints. It was very much just
I
like,
don't understand the prevent defense. I mean, I understand you're trying to control the game, but like in the third quarter, you were running prevent in the third.
yeah,
They were moving the football.
yeah,
They're making 10 and 12 and 15-yard plays, and even early fourth. You have them in 4th and 16, and you allow an 18-yard dig route. We talked about this before we started. Like 4th and 16, even if you're running cover 2, why are you not running Tampa 2? Why are you not putting that linebacker down in the middle and taking away the middle of the field? If you're going to beat me on 4th and 16, you're going to beat me outside.
right.
I can't allow you to beat me on a 4th and 16 in the middle of the football field in prevent defense. That just can't be allowed.
No. And here's the thing. Nick Ross is, I believe, a future head coach in this league. He's an outstanding defensive coordinator. The Cardinals are lucky to have him. He didn't have a good second half. And that's okay. It happens to everybody. Vic Fangio, Steve Spagnuolo, these guys, like, they're not perfect every Sunday. And listen, they're going to have to figure out this secret sauce to keep their focus, because they have exited the half and third quarter of these last 2 games thinking the game was over. You can't do that in the NFL. Like, this is not Big 12 football, with all due respect, when you're playing guys that aren't going to be in the league. These are pros too, Brittan. Like, these are guys that were drafted. Like, Tedero McMillan's the top 10.
They get paid on the other side of the field, too.
Bryce Young was the first overall pick. Yeah, like,
everybody's a pro.
We don't think they're any good. I don't think they're going to win a bunch of games, but like, you can't dick around like they did in the fourth quarter and expect it, like, well, they'll just roll over. They'll just give the game to us.
But it's not the same, like, saying they're not as good. It's really to a point of it's scheming wise. Once you get to the league, a team not being as good is scheme wise, or however you press it. You know, you can say scheme wise, you can say not making plays, but like, everybody that's in the NFL was the best college players. Like, these are the best collegiate athletes that are now, NFL players. So to say, we sit here and we say it's a bad team. Yes, it's a bad team, but they don't have there's not a winning culture there.
Right.
It's like talking about the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns got amazing athletes on that team, but they just can't win games.
The losing culture. Yeah.
There's a culture that goes behind it.
I see people in the chat. We want to talk about the offense, and we're going to talk about the offense. And it was frustrating because, like, I thought they started the third quarter like really well. I love the aggressive approach. I thought Kyler Murray played a good game, and he was an interception away from playing a great game. They were in complete control of this game. Kyler Murray, it was almost like, and this is what we talked about with K1, that 30-yard scamper was a thing of beauty. It's a big-time play. It was almost like the worst thing that happened, because then in the red zone, he tried to force a pass and tried to play hero ball again when he should have just, and they'll coach him on this, take the sack, kick a field goal. Because again, he makes that unbelievable play, which is going to be on SportsCenter. It's the play of the day for this team. And then they get down in the red zone and they screw around again, and it's 3rd and long, and he should have just gone down. And usually he does. I mean, like, Kyler Murray, there's a lot of heat on him locally. Like, he doesn't typically throw a bunch of interceptions, but with the game, 27-10 at that point, or 9, like, you needed it to just be calm with a field goal. And then they're in a position where they have no shot. But again, I thought Kyler Murray was mostly good, but I agree with everybody. The run game's not good right now. The leading receivers are not receivers. I mean, your 3 leading receivers, Trey McBride, 78 yards, Elijah Higgins, 45 yards, Trey Benson, 30 yards. Then there's Marv with 27, Michael Wilson with 11, Greg Dortch with 11. I mean, it's just an offense that is built on a run game. And then when the run game's not working, like it has not worked the first 2 weeks, then it's going to look ugly, Brittan.
No, I agree. And like you said, Kyler played a great game until he threw that.
Until he did.
And you say it like the interception was bad, and it's all completely on him.
100%. He'll admit that.
In his head, he was thinking, is there a way where I can get rid of this football and not lose yards and get done with it, throw an incomplete pass? He didn't put 2 and 2. Guy got way closer than he thought he was. Ended up being a floater, just trying to get up. It's done, right? So it's a horrible play call. You need it. It's one of those things where, and you're a veteran in this league, things like this. Take that sack. That's a bad play. And yes, you're up 27-9 right now. Even if you take the sack and you're on, borderline field goal range, if you miss, it's the same result.
Right.
I understand that, but like you're sitting here thinking like, just tuck it. You've done everything. Like you said, the hero ball, that scramble, there's a handful of guys playing quarterback in this league that can do that. And you've got that guy in it. The interception was awful. But as a whole, you take that interception out. He played a great game. He threw the ball downfield.
I know he was excellent.
A lot of dink and dunk passes again. That's all we have, though. Like when we start talking about receivers and yards, and we don't have those guys because we don't have a scheme to throw the ball downfield. Right. This goes back to what I was talking about earlier, saying I don't think we have concepts in this offensive scheme that are built for different coverages. I think there's just route concepts built for this is built for man, this is built for zone, and then it's just this. So if this play's called for zone and it's man, we don't have nothing. Nobody's getting open because we don't understand. So I think this is it's a scheme problem when you talk about the passing scheme on this offense. We don't have opportunities and we don't set guys up for success, right? Yeah. Yes, Marv had a bad drop in the first. He should have attacked that ball in the end zone. We can criticize him all day long. But the problem is we don't have a scheme. There's no way to get Marv matched up and make him successful. We're not giving Michael Wilson opportunities to be successful.
Mike's a great player. Mike got two targets today. Both should have gone for touchdowns.
Both.
One got flagged and the other was a touchdown. And people are like on Twitter, they're like, this team needs another wide receiver. Michael Wilson can't play. It's like, guys, it's a play caller.
You can't do the receiver part right there because there's teams in this league right now that don't have a true. I mean, let's go to if you want to talk about receiver or teams that don't have a true number one, who's the number one in Indianapolis? Tell me. Somehow, New York said Daniel Jones was the problem. And
I'm going to tell you right now,
Daniel Jones played football like this since he's been in the league. So
Hunter Renfrow should not have more touchdowns and more yards than Marvin Harrison Jr.
Offensively, we don't have a passing scheme.
Yeah.
So it's just, to me, your offense is built on the run game. I understand that.
But then what happens if you can't run that?
Have a pass game. But you need a pass game to mirror it. You need a pass game to make it work.
It doesn't complement each other, right?
There's no complement to the run game to the throwing.
I'm going to tell you right now, like Clayton Adams, offensive line coach that left for Dallas, that looks like a big loss now. I mean, Justin Fry, like I thought it was Drew Petzing that could elevate offensive linemen. Maybe it was Clayton Adams. Maybe it was Clayton Adams who was really good with the run concepts. I'm looking at this offense right now. I'm like, Drew, it's like that famous line from the Office Space. What would you say you do here? This Carolina team was the worst in the NFL against the run. They've been consistently giving up like 200 yards on the ground. The Cardinals, 3.7 yards per clip, 82 yards. We have to take a break. We've got counting cards coming up. Everybody, hammer that like button. We got 1,200 people watching live. We appreciate everybody here. Hit that like button. We're coming right back. Presser clips and more. It's PHNX. Man, I was sweating that out, and I almost walked to my nearest Circle K and had to debrief. I don't know if I would have been able to make the show if that had collapsed the way it did, but never collapsing, never lets me down is our friends at Circle K, the meal deal matrix, $3 meal deal, hot dog, tornado, Frito-Lay's chips, Polar Pop up to 44 ounces. How about the $4 meal deal, breakfast Sammy, start my day with it, hash brown, any flavor of 16-ounce Bang C4 or a medium iced coffee or hot coffee. And then, of course, could be the deal today, $5 meal deal, 2 slices of za, which are huge, by the way, 20-ounce soda or Polar Pop. Again, just $5. Everything is super expensive right now, except for our friends at Circle K. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply. At participating locations, visit CircleK.com for more details. Talk about spending money. It's hard right now, right? Money's tight. How about our friends at Monarch Money helping you out? It's the best budgeting app of 2025 by our friends at the Wall Street Journal. Ever heard of them? Ford's named it the best budgeting app for couples. If you don't need a budgeting app, or you feel like you don't, ask yourself this. Do you know where your money's going every month? Every streaming service, right? Every dollar on lunch, every dollar to your utilities, debt. You don't need to track every dollar, but ignoring your finances entirely can cost you. Okay. If you're not on top of your money, you could be missing out, saving more, investing smarter, hitting your financial goals and needs. Monarch helps you stay informed. Nothing slips through the cracks. Don't let financial opportunity hurt you by not addressing it when it comes up. Use the bonus code PHNX at monarchmoney.com in your browser. First half of the year. That's 50% off monarchmoney.com. Everybody hammer that like button. I want to remind everybody right now, you can take care of your boy here in the Supporters Club. So we have a new Supporters Club here on YouTube for the real ones. It's $5. There are a lot of cool emojis. You can mirror my lives at the beginning of each show, or you can shame me with my egregious chugging performance back. Coincidentally, the first year this little fanboy podcast was up and running and the Cardinals made the playoffs. So a lot of people are thinking, if you get the Supporters Club $5 membership emoji of me chugging, the chugging failed that the Cardinals are going back to the postseason. It's math, it's science. Do it now. Again, 1,100 people watching live. Please, please, please. It's one of the best ways you can support us on top of hammering that like button. See, people are doing it in the chat. They're doing PHNX hold the line, PHNX chugging. We're chugging along here on a post-game show. We've got Bo Brock at State Farm Stadium in just a couple minutes. Should have updates as it relates to Max Melton and Garrett Williams. Brittan Golden, looking at this offense right now, where do they pivot? How do they remedy this? How can you fix this performance? Because I feel like we're sitting here and we're waiting every weekend. It's like, it's going to get better. It's going to look different. Drew Petzing's been calling plays for 2.5 years. Looks the same.
This goes all the way back to last season, because we were having these same conversations last season about the passing game. Why are we not seeing the ball pushed downfield? Why are we not seeing this? Why is Marv not getting targets? Why is Michael Wilson not getting targets?
Yeah.
I've come to the conclusion that, again, I mean, I just screamed about it for 10 minutes a little bit ago. Like, there's nothing built into this offense to help them win. I don't believe. I don't believe it. I don't know. I haven't seen the offensive playbook. I don't know what this offensive playbook looks like. But from the outside looking in, we don't know how to set receivers up for success.
Yep.
When I was playing here, we had the Larry Fitzgeralds and the John Browns, and, you know, we had Michael Floyds, all of these guys. We had guys, and we knew how to work them. These guys could get in. We worked them into situations where they could be successful. We put them in situations to be successful. There was routes built in for these guys to move, get around. We did motions. We could set up. BA had all types of movements.
Yep.
We set up in a bunch, and then we split into a double set, right? You get to see what this defense looks like based off of that. And we had checks. We had double play. You had a play call. You had a Brown call. You had some, whatever it was, that we fake snap the ball, and we get a defensive picture.
Yeah.
Right? You're not seeing that. There's really not very much motion going on. And I don't want to get too heavily into the motions, because then we get back to the Kingsbury era. We were just motioning and running screens. But it's to the point where we could set things up. We could get into this position and have a dummy call. And now we kind of see what's going on. Right. And now Carson had the ability to say, hey, they're in zone. Check.
Right.
You know, hey, they're in man. Check. Hey, they're in some type of cover two. Get out of the pass play, hand the ball off. Because this get things straight. If you can't run the ball in cover two, you're toast.
Yep.
That's what you're supposed to do. So I don't think that there is a scheme in place for receivers to succeed in this. I think it is just essentially we have an offense or a passing game scheme that is just something that's been put together. There's no
it's like the most vanilla thing. It is.
It doesn't even look like there's options. Like, I don't even know if these guys have options on these routes. It's kind of like, hey, we got a seam route. What happens if you cover two? Oh, you got a seam route. It's like, no, because in the offenses that I ran, if you ran a seam route and it was cover two, the slot's breaking down the middle.
Yeah.
If it's man, he's probably taking the big fade. And if it's some type of cover three single high zone, we're taking it up the seam. That's really the only time you run in the seam. I don't see any movement. It's like when the play is called and the route is whatever the route is in the play call, that's what we're running. And if it doesn't work, then we got to blame Tyler because he's not getting the ball out.
Then it's like, I mean, how many checkdowns to Trey Benson can we do? I mean, everything is to running backs and tight ends. I mean, why did you, and again, like it's Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., like that's a conversation for another day. But like, why did you take this receiver if you're not going to prioritize his usage? If you're, and don't give me like he dropped the ball. CeeDee Lamb dropped passes. Malik Neighbors dropped the ball today. Brian Thomas Jr. had a couple drops. Everybody has drops. Marv had a stiff arm. I thought Marv looked good when he was given opportunities. Yes, he should have high pointed that ball in the end zone. But
that's another thing. Why is he not getting more opportunities like that?
Right.
Run him on crossers all day long. Adam Thielen. He
was the number one wide receiver on crosser routes in the NFL last year.
Come on. Adam Thielen turned himself into an elite wide receiver in this league. A D2 guy, a local Minnesota guy, undrafted guy. And now he's one of, we've been talking about in the past 2 years. Yes, he's on the back end of his career, but he's still succeeding.
Yeah.
And he made such a living on running across the field. It doesn't make any sense to me. You've got a 4th overall, round 1 pick, and you're not finding ways to get him the football and get him in space. And when you do and you have success, we never see it again.
No.
Like, what are we doing?
They are content. They are so content with this mediocrity approach. I was like, they opened up the second half and they went hurry up. And I'm like, okay, this looks good. I like what we're seeing. I like the motion. I like the sense of urgency. And then it was clear today, like last week, and you hate to break this to Drew Petzing, you couldn't run the ball again. Guess what, though? It's obvious. We have 8 quarters. Jonah Williams is terrible right now. Yelda Froholt, Evan Brown, and Isaiah Adams have all regressed because Clayton Adams isn't here. So you know what you should do? You should say, I'm not going to be stringent. I mean, how egregious was some of those play calls, the 3 and out, where it was like, run to Trey, Kyler Murray keeps, lose yardage, run it again. It's like, how about Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr., whoever gets single coverage, throw the ball to them. Let them have an opportunity. Michael Wilson. Like, how depressing is this? I don't get any looks. I don't get any targets. I will defend people who are disappointed with Kyler Murray's career trajectory. I want more for K1. I want more wins. Kyler Murray can throw the football. Kyler Murray can elevate receivers. He can put up big, gaudy statistics throwing the football. There is a conservative effort to not do it in this offense. This is like, and I'm with the people in the chat. I see a lot of people like that don't want to celebrate the win, and they're like, you're not going to beat good teams like this. I agree with you. Like, the defense can't do this every week where they have to, play hero ball at the end of the game. They're going to get tired. They're going to get overexposed. The Carolina Panthers dominated the time of possession. Part of that was because, you started a game with a defensive score. But like Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay and Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur, they will expose you, right? And so I am disappointed that after an entire offseason, BG, of a lot of this, right? We're not going to make moves. We're not any pieces in the draft. We're going defense. Okay, I was supportive of it. It looks exactly the same as last year. It's the same offense with the same vanilla schemes and route concepts. And again, I still think this team's going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to win double-digit games. But I'm going to tell you right now, when you're playing this kind of offense, this, BG, like you're going to have a ceiling. They have a ceiling right now on how they can win games.
No, I mean, my thing is this. We can give Kyler praise. We can rag on Kyler. Yeah. We can say whatever you need to say. But you can lobby for bringing another quarterback in here. But I'm going to tell you, and it doesn't matter who you have at quarterback in this offense. If this is your passing scheme, you have no chance. If this is how the O-line is going to play all season long, you have no chance. I don't care who you have in here. If this is the offense we have right now, I hate to go against you, JV, but this is not a playoff offense. This is not a playoff offense.
But can you get to the playoffs winning like this?
You have the intangibles to be a playoff team. You have the athletes. You have a quarterback that can lead you. We're not going to sit here and compare statistics. Because Kyler Murray, we've seen Kyler Murray throw for 400 yards.
Right.
We've seen Kyler Murray consistently throw for 315, 320, 330. We've seen that in the early stages of Kyler's career. But there was times where we were pushing the ball downfield. We were throwing the ball downfield. You don't have that anymore. So at this point right now, the Arizona Cardinals are not a playoff football team. Yes, you got 2 wins, but you got 2 wins against what we talked about earlier. career losing football teams. Now, yes, the Saints had a great run where they were really, really good. Yes, Carolina, 2015, had a great run, 15-1. Okay, we're talking about one season, right? At the same time, you're talking about the Saints. You had about 3, and it was Drew Brees at quarterback, right? These are 2 bad football teams. And I'm not ranking on players here. It's not, yes, you got to execute. But there is a scheme behind everything. There is a culture behind everything. And when there's a losing culture around, you look like the Cleveland Browns have looked for years. But take it in point, the Detroit Lions. We're going to just case in point on a losing culture. They have had a losing, we're talking about 0-16 type teams.
Mm-hmm.
Look what came into play. You got a GM that's working. You got a head coach that's working. There's a different kind of culture in that building. So now you're going from a career horrible organization to now there's a team that's consistently making playoffs, pushing for the NFC Championship. They had a horrible week 1, but looked excellent this week, right? It's just one of those things. You're starting to develop. The Cardinals are getting back into old Cardinal ways, right? Yes, you had the BA era. You had a winning culture here. Even when we went 500, 2016 and 2017, it wasn't the culture at that point. We just didn't win the close games we won in 2013, 14, and 15. We were losing the close games, right? It's a different type of mixture. You don't have that here right now. There's not a culture in here. It's not a winning culture. You got here year 1. You didn't have your starting quarterback till week 10. Yes, it was rough. Year 2, the offense looked just like it did when Josh Dobbs was quarterback in this offense.
Yeah, there has been
in year 3.
There has been no maturation process with this passing game. And here's the biggest indictment I can put on the coaching staff. And I agree, somebody just put it in the chat, said that Jonathan Gannon has to own this because he's not calling plays, but he empowers Drew Petzing. And I agree with that.
You're allowing it to continue.
Right. And then you made a conservative choice to run it. It was the ultimate conservative choice. You got with your GM and you said, we're going to run this back. Let's load up on defense. And again, they've won 2 games with defense, but here's what I'll tell you. If you're Drew Petzing and what you brought to the table previously was a run game and pass protection, and now that's gone, what do you bring to the table? Now, we already know that this passing game is not evolved. We already know that it doesn't prioritize receivers. And now it's against this Carolina team, you can't dominate the line of scrimmage on offense. This offensive line is the same players as last year. I know people want to shout to the mountaintops about Will Hernandez. Isaiah Adams started at the end of last year. He looked good. They have players. Kelvin Beachum, John Gaines can play. They're backups right now. It's not, I don't think it's a personnel problem anywhere on the roster. I think I would make a strong argument that this coaching staff got out coached today in the second half, clearly in the fourth quarter. Gannon took responsibility. We've got Jonathan Gannon clips. We're going to take another quick break. We're going to come right back. JG has an update on injuries and, this team's inability to put teams away. Cardinals, though, 2-0. It's PHNX. Man, oh, man, this has just been a wild, wild segment. I'm going to tell you what, though, if you need to calm down and look good in the process, do it with our friends at Branded Bills. Friends at Branded Bills, the elite headgear. I've got a ton. I've got 3 or 4 hats in my office right now. If you're looking for some headgear to make your brand stand apart from the crowd, Branded Bills has you covered with the best custom headwear. Start your order. Their dedicated team will help you create the exact custom apparel you need. They've got fitteds, truckers, beanies, tees, has you covered with performance and style. They have partnerships with 40 partnerships with universities like ASU, U of A. Their campus collection is elite. They also partner with the Phoenix Suns. They're locally owned and operated here in Mesa, Arizona. Head to brandedbills.com. Use the bonus code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. Again, I've got if I can not screw up my monitor here and grab my hat, I've got one of my favorite hats. This was gifted to me actually by Trey McBride. Bo hates that, but I love it for myself. Branded Bills, check them out. Also check out our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, specifically our friends at Wild Horse Pass. Excited to get back out to Gila. Check them out with our watch parties at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Nobody does it better. Visit one of their many locations, including Santan Mountain, Wild Horse Pass. Lounge at either the AAA 4 Diamond Resorts and let relaxation take charge. They've got 400 slots, live table games, one of the best sports books you can imagine. Honestly, a sportsbook casino that's on par with anything I've seen in Vegas, and I've stayed at all of them. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. We got Bo Brock en route. First, let's hear from Jonathan Gannon on an injury update with the Arizona Cardinals.
Collier had a knee, couldn't return. Max Melton had a knee, couldn't return. Garrett had a knee, couldn't return. And I think Will might have had a groin at the very end. He didn't return either.
So, again, there was some concern there with their defensive backs. He said Will Johnson couldn't return. Will was in the game at the end of the game. So I think Will Johnson is fine. You just got to hope, Brittan, that these DBs, like one or two of them, manage to go through the process of ducking a major injury, for lack of a better term, and they can get some bodies. But again, we were talking about it off air. Like, the Niners with Mac Jones, you feel like, again, with backups, you should be okay. To Sam Darnold, right? You've got some favorable matchups, but you're really going to have to dig deep. This front seven that already had to play their asses off in the fourth quarter, they're going to have to come to play next week and control the line of scrimmage against the Niners.
Listen, I'm afraid that I don't want it to be so, and I don't want to be right in this situation. But offensively, I'm afraid we're going to be in the same boat. Now, defensively, you do. You have to say a quick prayer, and you just got to pray that the DBs, these three DBs that were left the game, are able to come back, because we just don't have depth at defensive back right now. And I don't know who is out there that's not on a team that you can sign that's, one, in shape, and two, is good enough to come in and be a starter. Like, I just don't know. I don't know who's out there. All the big time names at DB, they're locked in. They've got contracts. They're stuck, and people are parting ways. They're not going to do that now. You don't have enough trade value on this football team to go out and trade for a big name guy. Because if you do, you're getting a DB and you're losing. You're not getting out of here without losing a Trey McBride or somebody. And you can't afford that on offense. You can't do that in the trade game. You have nobody that you can trade outside of picks. And I'm not trading the number one pick right now for a DB. Not now.
No, I don't think.
At this point in the stadium,
I don't think. Well, they're not. They're going to have to lean on. You got to hope Will Johnson can play next week. Like, I'm trying to find on Twitter. Did Will Johnson not play those final possessions of the game? I saw Will Johnson out there, had a pass breakup in the end zone. Like, I thought Will looked pretty good. So maybe JG misspoke because so many people left the game. LJ Collier left the game with a knee and he didn't return. I think Will's okay. I'm going to knock on wood. But yeah, like Keitrell Clark, Will Johnson, Darren Hall. Yeah, Big Poppy saying Will Johnson was out there on the last drive. So I think he misspoke. So yeah, Will had a pass breakup in the end zone. So all right, let's everybody become a member right now. We got 1,100 people watching live. I challenge everybody. Let's get 20 plus new members before the end of the show. That would help us exponentially. Hit that like button. Let's count some cards here on PHNX Cardinals post-game show. I thought some of these guys were maybe our player of the game, and then we had to swap them out, and things got dicey, and Calais Campbell took it home. Kyler Murray, we talked about at Brittan, 92 passer rating, would have been well over 100, and probably would have been our player of the game had he not thrown the interception. K1 today, a respectable 17 and 25, 220, a very nice 8.8 yards per completion and a touchdown, but that pick was the blemish on the resume. 7 carries, 32 yards with an exceptional 30-yard rush. Kyler Murray played good enough to win you the game. Does he need to play better? Absolutely. I don't think there's one player that you can look at and say, they played their ass off. They don't have any room to improve. Kyler Murray would tell you he needs to play better.
No, I agree. And we go off of this, right? We can say it all day. The interception ruins what not completely ruins, but, as a fan, and I understand, as a fan,
yeah,
that interception ruins the day that Kyler had. You completely overlooks the fact of he went out there, he was extremely efficient. Granted, yes, there was a lot of checkdowns, but they were completed. They were completed passes. They gained yards. They moved the football. He made some really good throws downfield. We haven't seen a lot of this lately at all for the last year and 2 games. We haven't seen it. But he threw that pass to Michael Wilson in the end zone it was a dot. It was
money.
What as it gets? It was Michael Wilson's ball or it was nobody's ball. It was it. It's either he catches it or nobody does, which is perfect. It's what you want to see, right? But you keep going back. You keep going back to that interception. The interception kills everything for you. And it's just one of those things that's just been a lingering problem for Kyler. He's had great. We can take this back to preseason 1 this year. He moved the ball efficiently. Those first two drives that he had, moved the ball great through a really horrible pick. And it's just trying to make something happen that's just not there. It's just, you're a veteran now.
Take the sack. You don't have to be Josh Allen.
If the field goal kicker misses that field goal, that is not your fault. You did what you were supposed to do, and you protected the football. This is the problem. Kyler needs to just, I can't say
that situational awareness needs to be better. No doubt about it.
And if we're going to talk about situational awareness, it's just that, right? And there's multiple guys on this team that need to learn situational awareness.
Nobody's without blame today. No, I mean, Kyler Murray, the offensive line, the receivers. I mean, everybody. I thought Trey Benson missed some cutbacks. Let's keep it going here on counting cards. We'll hit these two. Sweaty J set the tone. I thought Josh Sweat was going to dominate all game, and then this game was just so strange. He had a strip sack, which was awesome. Zaven Collins runs it in for a score. And then he got a ton of pressure on those final couple drives, but got screwed by penalties. I also thought Baron Browning played well. The pass rush is better than last year, which is all you can say. And then Denzel Burke, it's got 2 on here, and he added 1 late, I think. So he actually had 3 pass defense. And again, people are like, Denzel Burke got cooked. He's a 5th-round rookie corner out there trying to help his team. I thought he had an opportunity to make a couple plays. At least he's not getting burned deep. I thought the holding penalty on him was garbage trash at the end of the game. I want to see.
He had multiple holding plays, and there was probably 3 or 4 more.
He shouldn't be playing. He's a 5th rounder, and the starters are all hurt.
I get it. You're the next man up. There is no choice. He made some really, really good plays today. We're not going to take that away from him.
I saw some positives with him.
He played really well. But what you have to clean up is those holding penalties. You can't. His problem right now is when he feels like he's beat, he panics.
Yeah.
And that's what you've got to get out. You've got to get that college mentality out of your mind. When you panic, you can't reach and grab. You can't do that no more. This is a different league, right? The panic has to lead you. It's just got to be done. Right now, don't get me wrong. If it's in an instance where you're going to get beat for a 90-yard touchdown, grab him, hold him. But there's instances where we've got Bryce Young running for his life in the backfield, and you grab him, and you hold him, and you're restricting this receiver. He has no weight on this play. That McMillan was not even in sight. He was not getting the ball on that play. But you grab and you hold because you panicked. You panicked. You panicked because you thought you were beat off the line of scrimmage.
Here's the good news.
Guessed.
He's got Jonathan Gannon as head coach, who's a tremendous teacher of defensive backs. I'm actually if you can escape serious injury with 1, God forbid, 2 of the corners, but they have to miss some time, I think the cornerback room will be okay. I think the biggest issue is this offense, because a lot of teams, you can just be like, well, our defense isn't good today, but we can just go score for score. You just don't have the confidence that the Cardinals can do that. Here's Jonathan Gannon on not being able to put this game away and taking fault for this one.
No, it's a good question. That when you get up like that on defensively, you're trying to make them earn every yard. I think then they went on 2 long drives and scored touchdowns. So within those drives, we just got to do a better job of making sure that we can try to get off a little bit better and keep points off the board ultimately. Like if you get out of one of those stops or you convert, if you get off on a 4th down here or there, the game doesn't look like that. So that's what I mean. From my standpoint, I got to coach us better to understand what's going on in the game and what calls we need to execute to put games away. So the turning point to me is we just really never got that stop that we needed, or to keep points off the board, to let our offense go out there and really put the game away. So and like I said, it's not the players at all. They fought their butt off. It's completely on me.
Love that from Jonathan Gannon, taking complete ownership. We want to remind everybody, Desert Financial by the numbers. We appreciate Desert Financial, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. We've got Bo Brack about to join us here, and then we'll do a little by the numbers here to kick things off with Bo Brack by the numbers. Again, we appreciate everybody counting cards by the numbers. Bo Brack joining us from State Farm Stadium. Want to do a quick hit with Bo here. That was uncomfortable. That had no business being that close. Let's just start with your initial reaction to whatever that was in the fourth quarter. We've talked about it for 45 minutes. It just feels like the Cardinals let their foot off the gas.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's putting it lightly, and you gave them ample chances to get back into that game in all three phases, right? I mean, it's 27-9. You got a chance to go down there and get your 30th point at the very least with a field goal, throw an interception there, and you kind of leave the door ajar, and then you allow them on this 15-play drive to go down and score a touchdown. It's still, not that great for the Carolina Panthers, and then you continue to leave the door open. That's when you had your least effective drive offensively. You have it at the worst time, just like last week, I should say. And then, special teams, you can't come up with the onside kick. So there's a failure in all three phases down the stretch in the fourth quarter. And it's really, you're lucky to get out of here 2-0. It's astounding that 2-0.
Yeah. Any update? We heard from Jonathan Gannon on Max Melton, Garrett Williams. Is there a feeling? Is there a vibe on their injuries? The Garrett Williams one was so critical because it was at the end of the game where that game should have been over. Yeah. You question him even being in the position with that. Bo, the Cardinals have been so healthy up until this point. Is this where the tide turns?
I think it's unfortunately turned. It's like a tsunami as far as this turning of the tide. It's been brutal. I mean, as far as them to lose their best corner and Garrett Williams potentially, for the entire season. Kyler Murray, probably the most damning statement. It's just how he was gutted to see those guys go down like they did. Max Melton, Garrett Williams, got L.J. Collier also dealing with something. You had a groin issue with Will Johnson. So it was a tough day out here for the Cardinals as far as health. And primarily looking at Garrett Williams and Max Melton for the foreseeable future.
So, yeah, the vibe is not great with both of those. Let's turn our attention, Bo, to the offensive side of the ball. And we were a Kyler Murray interception away from looking at that game completely different. Yeah. Obviously, the pick was unacceptable, and it let them back in this game. But your overall assessment of this offense, which once again, I hate to be overly critical, it's a lot of tight ends and running backs. I mean, they couldn't get the run game going. What was your assessment of this offense?
Look, you didn't want to be the team that didn't run the ball effectively against Carolina, who's just been gashed by the run game the last 7 games. They get up 200 yards to their opponents the last 7 games, and they didn't even muster 100 yards total. And it was a decent performance there. And then you look at this offense, it just goes away too often. And I know you can find ways, like especially the opening drive. You have the Michael Wilson touchdown taken off the board by the holding penalty from Trey McBride, and you've got all these different variables that play a role here. But at the end of the day, you've got to be able to be cashing in points. You got to be able to cash in touchdowns in order to put these games on ice and really kind of win these games outright. And that's going to be a skill that they're going to have to really kind of develop here, because you got the field goal to start after your defense was balling to start the game. They get the touchdown, but they still have for the field goal, and then they got to go stagnant there until they score on 3 consecutive drives. And it really kind of looked like they were rolling there, and then just went away. And it went away in the form of what should have been another scoring drive, and then it completely lost momentum because they ended up punting after that.
It's crazy, this team 2-0, and the feeling is not jubilation. It's this team would be lucky to win 8 games. I mean, that's the vibe right now with this fan base. I want to continue to pick both of your brains. We got to take a quick break. We got more clips. We got 50+ super chats, all that and more. 1,100 people watching live. It's PHNX. Man, everybody needs to chill out. Me, myself included, with our friends at Zen Leaf Dispensary. Whether you're gearing up for game day or winding down after a nightmare fourth quarter with the Arizona Cardinals, do it with Zen Leaf Dispensary. They're your go-to spot for cannabis, flowers, vapes, edibles, and more, all from brands you trust. They're located across the valley, Chandler, Gilbert, North Phoenix, and more. It's easy to swing by before kickoff or order online for pickup. For a limited time only, use the bonus code PHNX Zen. That's Zen, Zen, PHNX for 50% off. So the next time you're pregame and postgame or just need to chill out after a rough football Sunday, check out the link in the description below and visit one of their 8 Valley locations. Bonus code Zen, PHNX for 50% off a one-time purchase. And speaking of purchase, make a purchase right now with our friends at Rally House out in Glendale. They are repping the new Cardinal rivalry jerseys. Bo, did you see any rivalry jerseys on display?
So one just in the wild, there's a James Conner rivalry jersey. Looks great.
Cardinals make those available earlier this week. They look banger, and they're going to debut on the field against the Seahawks a week from Thursday. But you can rock one in the meantime. Check it out. They're the only place to just sport Arizona sports teams, which is great. I hate going to like other places and it's like all these other teams I don't care about. Every time you visit a Rally House, you're guaranteed to find something new, unique, and matches your everyday vibe. Find your local Rally House location and shop the entire product assortment online, www.rallyhouse.com. Again, I want to pull this up here. Brittan Golden, you tell me what stands out. It's by the numbers here. PHNX Cardinals post-game show brought to you by our friends at Desert Financial. At one point in this game, I was like, what is going on with the time of possession? Panthers clearly won that. What else stands out by the numbers for you?
Oh, one is first downs. I mean, the Panthers had 26 first downs compared to your 16, which, yes, that goes in with your time of possession. All right, but your run game. Let's think about this. You're a team that prides yourself on running the football. Clearly, in Petzing's offense, he wants to run the football because we don't want to pass the football. But to have 82 total rushing yards when the whole scheme of your offense is to run the football, one, that starts up front. If they're not getting pushed up front, it's going to be really hard for a running back to be a hero. It's just not a deal. But
yeah,
you can base your entire offense off of the run game, and you're putting up 82 total yards on the ground. I mean, without that defensive score, just think about this. Without the defensive score, you lose this football game.
Yes. And you for the second straight week only scored 20 points. I don't know, Bo, in a weird way. I look at this game and I'm like, I know that the defense took their lumps in the second half, but I also know it's the better coach unit of the two. Even with the injuries, I have more confidence in this defense. What the hell is it going to take for this offense, Bo? When you think about you faced two defenses. The Saints defense just gave up 3 passing touchdowns to Mac Jones with no playmakers. And we're sitting here and it's like this offense, nothing looks right. We talked about it earlier. The run game's not there. The pass protection's not great. They probably missed Clayton Adams. So it's like those were the things that Drew Petzing, Bo, hung his hat on. And now it's just like it's almost just kind of like football vomit, where it's like, yeah, occasionally you'll get a nice play and you'll get an explosive enough to get in field goal range, and you might get lucky and not flub up in the red zone and have a penalty. But there's no rhythm. There's no consistency. BG went on a rant earlier. The receivers, it doesn't even look like they're running routes, like concept routes. Michael Wilson, poor guy, had 2 targets today. I mean, what do you think this next step is for the offense to get this corrected? Is it correctable?
Yeah, I think it is correctable. I really do. I think it is kind of finding that rhythm, being able to, you got to do what your calling card usually is, and that's running the football, something they've done very well the last 2 seasons. They haven't done it through 2 games consistently enough. You know, it was like over 150 in the first game, but we know that was juiced by a 52-yarder from Trey Benson. For the most part, it would have resembled what we saw today. It's mostly been Kyler Murray's legs that have been getting it done on the ground, and you need more from James Conner and Trey Benson. And so, yeah, that would help, you know, get you on the right path. But, yeah, you're also looking for getting your wide receivers more involved, more consistently. If it wasn't for Trey McBride, you wouldn't have any kind of semblance of a passing attack today. So, yeah, it is finding that rhythm, and it does look clunky. But, like, I'm looking at this game, and it's like your inability to get off the field in the fourth quarter, that was just too much. Like, it's fourth and forever. Just get off the field. Just get off make one stop, and you call this a day. Instead, you've got BG's old teammate having to come and turn back the clock. We had Calais over here with all family and friends, and he's got to get his second sack of the game in order for us to walk away with a dub, which is it's pretty unbelievable. Like, pinch me that we're talking about Calais Campbell here in 2025 making a big play for the Arizona Cardinals to win a game.
Yeah, I mean, we were pumped at the beginning of the show just because they got the dub, and then now you can look at it from a more critical eye because they did escape BG with a victory. I mean, like, what is the recipe for wins moving forward? Like, assuming that this is the team, what do you say, like, to your guys this week in practice? How do they go to Santa Clara and put up enough points to beat, God forbid, a Mac Jones-led Niner team?
I wish I had an answer for you. Because as much as I want to believe what Bo says about being fixable, we've been talking about this offense for 2.5 years now. I mean, it's just not. I already ranted about it. I'm not going to go back on the passing scheme and the receiving scheme, but there's just nothing out there that makes me believe that this passing scheme can get better, and it's because the scheme that I see is that there is no scheme. There's passing plays. It looks like, I mean, if you want to see scheme, you can come watch my 12-year-old tackle football team run pass plays. Hell, we throw the ball downfield. We're 12. Now, granted, Drew Stanton is our head coach, so, that's a different type of thing. But, like,
can Drew come call plays for us? That'd be great. Love Drew Stanton.
Listen, we moved that ball. I'm telling you, we moved the ball. But, again, like, I think it goes back to we're not putting receivers in situations to be successful. There's not a program in place for them to be successful, which in turn we can sit here and pray and hope and say, yes, I have faith that it can get better. But we've been saying, I have faith this can get better for 2 years in 2 games. We've been in it. Yes, we struggled for 10 games in year 1 because we had Josh Dobbs, and then God forbid we let Clayton Tune start a game. I don't know what that was, but it was just like we got Kyler back for the last 6 games or 7 games, however much it was. And then we had all last year, and it wasn't there. And, yes, we can sit here and throw blame on Kyler. Can Kyler play better ball? Yes, he definitely can because we've seen him play better ball. But on top of that is the fact of, we talked about it with Daniel Jones. Coaching is everything. Scheme is a lot in this league. I mean, to be in a scheme, there's no – I don't see any way that this offense can level up outside of players playing out of their mind.
Yeah,
because
like
I just
breaking.
don't think there's opportunities for receivers to win. I think it's just there's a pass call that's being – or a pass play being called, and it's, hey, run this route, try to get open. If you don't –
that's it. I mean, they had their drives in the second half outside that first possession. It was just it felt like just kind of going through the motions a little bit. We have Kyler Murray's presser clips. We got to hit one more break. We're coming right back. K1 here from the franchise quarterback. It's PHNX. We did not hit our tasty little parlay that we were hopeful to hit, Bull Brock. The over hit in this game. James Conner did not hit the over in rushing.
If you could just stop right there, I prefer not to rehash this. Let's just
listen. I liked your bet. I bet it myself.
How about your bet was fine, Bo?
It was a good bet. It was a good bet with our friends at Bet365. And
every
listen,
bet's a great bet with Bet365. That's undeniable.
That's why they gift you the bonus bets, so you can flub around with Bo's bets and use bonus bets on those, and then you use real money when Britt and I give you picks. But breaking news, Bet365, new customers get $300 in bonus bets when you bet 5, win or lose. Sign up, use the bonus code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for just $5, you get $300. $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. You can use those on player props, futures, whatever the moment. Always, never ordinary with Bet365. Got to be 21 years and older, physically located here in Arizona. If you were someone you know with a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov for more infos. Cardinals feeling the heat in the fourth quarter. What about you in your patio setup? Check out our friends at All Pro Shades Concepts. They've been in business for 20 years. They started making patio shades, window shades for their friends by hands in Phoenix. And guess what? Now they're one of the largest installers of patio roll-down shades and motorized awnings in the Valley. Again, they can replace, update most outdated patio shades. They can work with your HOA, or they can just do a complete gut job. They're the best. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. Call 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadesconcepts.com. Schedule your free estimate today as we go into overtime. Bo will not do the pew-pews on the
Pew,
Cardinals.
pew, pew,
field.
pew, 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 pew.
There we go. That's what I needed.
I was ill prepared.
50-plus super chats, a ton of new members. We're going to get to you, but first, let's hear from the franchise quarterback, Kyler Murray, on escaping the jaws of defeat today.
I was numb. Honestly, I was happy they got to stop. I don't know how many penalties that was in a row. Yeah, it was kind of a shit show, to be honest, but I'm just glad we got a win. I think that goes back to, obviously, locking in throughout the week. How we approach 4-minute and things like that, and limiting penalties. Obviously, they were pretty stout in the run game today. I think we are used to being able to run the ball, and today kind of got after us up front. But I expect us to be better.
Kyler Murray now on Tip Ryman's injury, which again it impacted this team's ability to run the football. Here's K1.
I mean, Tip's he's an enforcer, so I think he definitely makes a difference. Not having, I think that showed, but at the same time, the next man up, we got to be better.
Bo Brock, we said the thing that they couldn't do was use Tip Ryman as a crutch to the poor offensive play. I don't want to say that's what Kyler Murray is saying, but offense wasn't great.
No.
Yeah, he was asked about it. He was asked about it.
But let's go back to his first answer where he said it's an S show. And I think that it being a shit show is probably the best way to put what we witnessed out here, especially the final drive that he was talking about, where you said penalty after penalty. You got like this roughing the passer call that was unbelievable. It was a complete shit show. And Kyler Murray, he kind of whittled it down to exactly what that was.
Yeah, we're allowed to swear here in overtime. We appreciate
That's
everybody.
right.
Hammer that
Safe
like
place.
button. The goal. We're going to go for 750 likes here on a post-game show. Tons of new members, tons of super chats. We have gotten through all of our breaks. Anything else, Bo, stand out to you about this game? I mean, it feels like that third quarter in the beginning of the fourth quarter, it was like we weren't checked out, but it was like this game's over. And then like somewhere along like the 6-minute mark, it was like, are they gonna screw around and let Carolina dictate the last 6 minutes of this game? And they damn well did. So it almost feels like a tale of two games.
It does. I mean, you almost feel like, did they really have a strip sack fumble for a touchdown?
Yeah.
When was that? That was way back when. Did they also follow that up with generating a ton of pressure and forcing an interception? Yeah, they did that too. And you're like, no, that was the same game. And it was also the same game where they were able to engineer, 3 consecutive scoring drives, 2 to end the first half and 1 to start the second half. And like the game was on ice. And then somehow they allowed the Carolina Panthers back in. And I really do think they did that through all 3 phases. It was like the fourth quarter was a disaster class. And it's certainly something. BG, I don't know what you do here. Like, do you burn that tape, or is it learning tape, or what do you do with that fourth quarter?
I mean, everything is a lesson. I mean, you're going to watch this film regardless. There's no just throwing it out. There's things that people need to see. There's things that need to be said in those meeting rooms that people need to hear, not necessarily just see, because there's going to be certain people in there that see it and think, oh, well, it was just a bad, like it needs to be said. It needs to be addressed by multiple people, not just coach. It needs to be addressed in the room, right? You need to have leaders, players in the locker room that come out and say, hey, right, yeah, I made a mistake here. That will get fixed. But hey, like this all needs to be fixed as a whole. Like this can't be what happens when we have a 20-plus point lead in the fourth quarter and we just disappear. Like, I think you said it right. You are going into halftime and you get a great throw, great catch, touchdown going into halftime. You get the ball outside of halftime and you move the ball straight downfield and score. I said it off air before we even did it. I said if they score before halftime and then get points outside of halftime, this game is done.
It's over.
You won this football game. You've done everything you were supposed to do. I think the Cardinals came out aggressive on offense in the second half. But, again, you scored points, and then you lost it. The second half, the Cardinals didn't have the football. They didn't have it.
No.
Defense was on the field the entire time. So, I mean, it's about getting a stop on defense and finally. So, I think defensively, regardless of what you did in the first half, regardless of what you did on the first 2 drives, those are done. We're not watching that. We don't care. Congratulations. You made plays. That's what you get paid to do. Right? You made the plays you were supposed to make. Right? But now the second half showed up and you disappeared. Everybody disappeared until the end. And then, like we've talked about it multiple times, you had a 39-year-old Calais Campbell, one of the greatest human beings to ever walk this planet, if we're being honest. And he shows up, and he's the only one that seems like he's got the fire. The only one that says, look, I am not going to allow this team to lose with a 24-point lead. We had a 24-point lead going into the fourth quarter.
Saved them. He saved their ass. Well, I mean,
he was that same guy in 2015 and the same guy when he came into the league in 09 or whenever it was. He's been that guy's entire career with every team he's played for. But you've got to have more than one guy on your team that's got that same type of fire that says, hey, I am not going to allow this to happen.
Well, and they had a couple egregious calls go against them. The Josh Sweat call was atrocious. I mean, the Denzel Burke holding penalty I didn't allow. So I'm not crazy. I'm just not worried about the defense. And I'm worried about this offense being able to hang. This team's a quarter of the way to their win total from last year.
Secondary scares me right now with the injuries. It honestly.
Yeah. I just something tells me.
About the D-line, I'm not worried D-line wise. We've got guys on the D-line, and they showed up at times, right?
Deidre Clark's been in this program for 3 years. Darren Hall looked good in the preseason. Like, again, it's not ideal, but at least I know the coordinator and what he stands for, and the result that he can get last year, especially without great players in his front seven. The offense has no excuse. This is year 3, and it looks terrible at times. They have no passing game. So
there's none. There's no downfield movement.
If your
run game's done, you're done.
Give me Nick Rallis with backup corners over Drew Petzing with Pro Bowlers right now. That's how I feel, because I don't think he can do it, Bo. I especially now it's a huge indictment because he can't get the run game going.
Mm. Well,
that's the problem. You can't run the football with a non-existent pass game. There's nothing you can do. If I'm defensive coordinators right now coming against the Arizona Cardinals, I am sitting in cover 2 all day long. And I'm going to say, run the football. Prove to me that you have the offensive line to run the football. What we've seen in the first 2 weeks, we do not have the offensive line to run the football. We don't have the offensive line we thought we had. I am not playing any type of man or cover 3 or fire zone. I'm not playing any of that. I'm going to sit in cover 2, and I'm going to force you to run the football because we clearly don't have pass plays that can beat cover 2. We don't. We don't have pass plays that can beat man, if we're being honest. We have pass plays that can win in flag football is what it seems like. Outside of that, we don't have that.
All right.
I'm sitting in cover 2, and I'm saying run the football. And if you can't run the football, I'm winning the football game.
Bo, what's the temperature check on Drew Petzing right now, in your opinion?
I think the fan base is way more fired up than internally. I'm just giving you my sense of it.
Right, that's what I'm asking for.
Right, and look, I mean, you really do kind of do yourself a disservice when you start to put drives together and you've got an offensive face mask, you've got a holding penalty, and next thing you know, it's 2nd and 25, and that kind of handicaps what you're trying to do there. So look, I mean, the pick with when you're up 27-9, you can get, if you get to 30 there, this game, we're not biting our fingernails here in the final minutes of it. So, but there's just it's all encompassing, right? Like the undisciplined stuff like that needs to be cleaned up, and can that put you on a better trajectory? But you got to get there to do it. So far, like 2 sloppy performances. I don't think anybody's making excuses for anybody in that situation. So
you have a win. So yes, you can say it feels awful. It feels so awful. But the one thing you have at the end of the day is, as of now, you're in first place in the NFC West.
We're waiting on medicals for Garrett Williams and Max Melton. 54.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, Will Johnson exited with a groin injury. Like he went down on the field, he came back, but then he had to leave again. And that's the one I think, like, I think you kind of accepted your fate with the other 2. Unfortunately, I would be shocked if you got good news. Like, that would be welcome. Believe me, it would be welcome. But like Will Johnson, like now he becomes even more valuable than before. and you're going to have to do some roster work just to get back to some sense of neutral.
Well, people said that JG misspoke. Like, Will Johnson was on the field at the end of the game. He said Will left the game. I think he meant LJ Collier. Like, Will he came out briefly and went back in and had like pass his defense to end the game. So, but yeah, I mean, like, we'll see how it is overnight. But I'm assuming Will Johnson's okay. Maybe that's
there's still a lot of things you have to understand. Like, football games, guys finish games.
Yeah.
And then they're done for 4 to 6 weeks. It's just one of those things where it's a timing thing. It's a situation to where you got to get a stop or you lose the football game. You're already lost, guys. It's like, can you leg it up? And it's a mentality as a player too. There's guys that are just like, like, I'm not going to allow this. If I can do it without hindering this team, I'm going to go out and finish this game. But in turn, you think about it in the long run, there's going to be things that pop up on the injury report tomorrow that we didn't see, that we don't know.
Right. Like, Brock Purdy finished the game last week for the Niners and then missed time.
Purdy finished, but Purdy's out for some weeks now. So it's like, there's things pop up that are not, that we don't know about now.
We got to buckle up. We got 54 super chats, my guy. Bo, you tell us if you got to leave us. Otherwise, we're hammering through these. Let's go. Andrew, $4.99. Thank you so much for your patience. I've figured out why the stadium never has any energy under Gannon. It's the lack of explosives. Drew must be evaluated if we want this place rocking. I think there's some truth to that. I think winning is a large part, but the optics of winning, there aren't any big plays. Kyler Murray's really, his run was the highlight of the day. That's an impromptu broken play. I mean, they're a tough watch right now. I think they have good players and good coaches, but in terms of like a consumable product on an NFL Sunday, they don't score a lot of points. Fantasy football people hate them. Like, they're a tough team to consume right now.
We're going to go deep on all these super chats?
No.
I'll let you handle that one.
Yeah. Steve, $4.99. Story of the game, a great QB held back by a team around him and an average QB that's being elevated by the talent around him. Who is who? Well, listen, Steve, I think a lot of people would disagree that
one's got 5 turnovers in 2 games.
Right.
I don't
think Bryce Young's any good. I'm sorry. Kyler Gordon, 08, $4.99. OC fired. DC stopped playing conservative. This should not be this kind of win, 1,000% unacceptable, but it will be a win tomorrow. I mean, at the end of the year, it's a win. I remember the Cardinals in 2021 at State Farm Stadium played terrible defensively against the Vikings in week 2, and they won because the Vikings missed a field goal, and then they rallied off like 7 in a row. Like, you just have to get a dub. But again, you can't be losing players in the process. Greg, $1.99. Worst kind of cardiac Cardinals elevating bad quarterbacks. The defense is still really good. The defense before the 3 touchdowns today, they were the number 1 pass defense against touchdowns dating out to midseason last year. I don't know if they can continue that without their top corners, but the defense will be fine. I'm not worried about the defense. KR Gordon, 08. Petzing is ass. Rollis cannot play. Prevent. I think Rollis will get it corrected. I'm not sure about Drew Petzing. Jeff, $1.99. I love this team, but my God, I hate this team. I think that is
roller coaster. Maybe it's a roller coaster.
That's right. Turtle.
It's gonna make you love them more in the end if they can ever figure it out.
That's true. I hate how conservative this defense plays. Agreed, 100%. But they were playing conservative because they had a lead, and it almost bit them in the ass. KR Gordon back. Win is a win. Is going to get old. This was 27-3. I push back and just say, well, you know they're better. They have better players. They showed last week against the Saints they're better. They have better players. They need to figure out how to finish in the fourth quarter. And by finish, I mean like blow teams out. They did last year against the Jets and the Bears, but you can't expect the defense to hold every fourth quarter last drive. Right. Yeah. George, $4.99. We're going to have to go through this every week? Maybe. Absolute ref show trying to hand the Panthers the win. Hopefully all these defensive injuries aren't serious. 100%. And again, like, I'll take close wins if they're wins. I would rather have close wins than losses or blowout losses. But yeah, the ref show was atrocious. We've covered it. Those officials, it's almost like, Bo, we talked about it. They almost checked. It's like they checked out when the game was over, and then they're like, oh shit, we have to get back into this game, and they're just throwing flags all over the place. They didn't know what they were doing. Steve Kimes Burner, $1.99. Drew just giving Marv a part-time job. not available first look. I mean, real quick, Bo, your assessment on Marvin Harrison Jr. today.
Just non-existent in the first half, 3 targets, no catches. And then, what he ended up with 2 catches and 27 yards. So, hey, you want more from your 4th overall pick.
Kyler Gordon, 08, 199 should not have been this close. Agreed. Josh, $5. Even Kyler is fed up with these calls. Camera caught him saying, what the F are we doing after a run on 2nd and 20? I mean, like, listen, even the staunchest Kyler Murray haters have to admit how conservative Drew Petzing is. I mean, he's a conservative play caller. We have too much evidence now. He's too conservative.
I think this is his offense. I don't even know if it's that he's conservative.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, this is his offense.
This is all he has. This is his offense.
Kyler is fed up. Yeah, we got that one. KR Gordon, not okay with mediocrity. They're 2-0. If they lose next week, we'll crush them. Let's see if they can keep this going, though. The 90 Poppy, $5. I love my birds, but I'm so disappointed in Kyler. He's too inconsistent. The problem is I don't know if he should be mad at him or Petzing. I think Drew Petzing. I think there are days where Kyler Murray plays awful and you can criticize him. Kyler Murray played really well outside of the pick. I think
it was a big pick.
It was a bad pick. It was a bad pick.
Yeah.
He should have never thrown the football. But if we're gonna say, I think that's the
Drew
only
was way worse
mark
today.
he had today.
Drew,
If
he doesn't throw
if that was on his resume today.
If they don't throw the pick, they kick the field goal. It's 30-9.
30-3.
A defensive touchdown, though. I mean, they still.
It's a bad pick. Horrible pick. Bad decision all the way around. That can't happen.
You may argument the defense gave him 10 points because the second
continues to happen.
The Baron Browning pick, they were basically in field goal range.
He also threw another touchdown that was negated by penalty too.
Right, for sure. But that's on them. Michael, the newest member for the supporters group. Thank you so much, Michael. We appreciate that. Become a supporter. Subscribe, by the way, to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. We are barreling our way toward 50K. AZ Moses, 89, $2. JVBG, I can't handle this every Sunday.
I don't want to deal with it every Sunday.
A win is a win is a win. I'll take this if they're winning games.
If they're winning, we can listen. This is what we get to do. This is why we're on here. We ain't on here to praise we praise them when they need praising, but
yeah. You know what this is? This is Johnny signing up for 9-8. This is what you did, Johnny. You said I would sign up with blood for
if they won a playoff game.
Win.
Yes,
yeah.
Of course. Gage, $9.99. Thank you, Gage, for the support. We have a serious wide receiver problem. MHJ's chest catches are a habit forming and will probably never change. It will cost us. He had a bad first half, and it's hard on a day where Malik Neighbors goes for 140, and it's just like highlight reel. But the Giants stink. They're 0-2. Everybody's going to get fired. They have lost Russell Wilson, who had a good day today. I mean, like
450 today.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. It's like, how is that happening? And we can't. I think it's a perfect storm. I think Marv, to expectations, is underwhelmed slightly, and then Drew Petzing is just a wide receiver nightmare world. Like he just can't. He can't elevate receivers, Bo.
You better be licking your chops, though, for that Week 9 Monday Night Football, seeing that Dallas defense. That Russ is cooking still.
Oh, man, listen, come on now. I'll tell you this. If we leave that Dallas defense and we have 210 yards passing, listen.
Hey, I'm going to tell everybody right now. Everybody's upset. We're all upset. Arizona Cardinals opened to a 1.5-point favorite over San Francisco on the road this week. Just putting that out there. Mac
Jones is a quarterback.
I know. Josh, $5. I'm tired with the staff being okay with double-digit leads and let the teams come back. Prevent defense in the second quarter on conservative calls on offense. But at least like that feels correctable, Josh. I'm with you. I would rather have a team that has a big lead and then they like screw around than like, hey, the margin for error is so small. Like last year and the year before, like you had to play a perfect game to win a game because it was personnel problems. But I'm with you. I do think a lot of this is correctable. AZ Moses,
rapid fire here.
Yeah, AZ Moses, 89, $5. Can we introduce Calais into the Ring of Honor while he's still playing this season? Asking for the Red Sea. Hashtag
It's like when you're homecoming king and you're also playing in the football game. That's probably BG, right?
I mean, hell, LeBron James is in the Basketball Hall of Fame. He's still playing. Why can't we put him in the Ring of Honor?
Steven Jackson, $5. The lack of MHJ usage is disturbing. Agreed. And the sample size is only getting larger. I worry that he just won't ever become the focal point of the offense. He won't. At this rate, he won't. It's a Trey McBride running back offense that has a ceiling. Jonathan Gannon would have to make changes as coordinator. I've come to that conclusion. We're not going to see an offense that's throwing for 300 yards a game. Miles, $20. Thank you so much for the support on that level. We appreciate you, my brother. I'm not subscribing to the win is a win mentality this week. 2 weeks in a row where poor coaching and execution allows crap teams to stick around with bonehead penalties and mistakes. This team needs to look in the mirror. I agree that they need to do some soul searching, but this league is so hard and it's razor thin to be able to get dubs. I mean, like every team in the NFC West for the most part, like had to kind of sweat it out today. Cardinals, like I thought they were going to have the most dominant performance, and then they dicked around. Josh, $2. Love Rallis, but he let the Panthers back in. 100% agree. Didn't have a great second half. That happens. Daniel, $5. Defense was just out there too long because the offense only had 3 possessions the second half. Hopefully Max and Garrett okay. 1,000%. The offense, again, I know people are critical of the defense. I feel this way. I felt last week. The offense and dicking around and not being able to sustain drives put the defense in bad spots. The offense could have put this game away multiple times against this defense. I think you had to do it. Alex, $4.99. I know winning is hard, but am I wrong for feeling so unsatisfied about these past 2 wins? I think you're in the majority, Alex. Yeah. I think most people feel that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Loso, $2. Fire Petzing, please. There's going to be a lot of that this week. There's going to be a lot of people who want Drew Petzing fired. Loso, again, $5. Panthers should not have been in this game. Fire Drew Petzing. I think, to Bo's point, Gannon is not thinking that. I honestly think like if they were to fire Drew Petzing, it would have to come from Michael Bidwell. I don't think Jonathan Gannon's ever
fired. It's not happening, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry. They're 2-0.
Vondo, $1.99. Pray we never get this officiating crew again. That I agree with. Please tell those gentlemen, thanks, go away forever. Go officiate a Niner game or a Seahawk game. Cost them a win. Josh, $10. Fire Petzing as soon as possible. I'm tired of this. And if JG is the reason they want to prevent defense and run every down, then sadly pull the plug on JG. I'm tired of struggling with bad teams. Until they have to make the playoffs, they have to have a winning record. Yeah. And until they are eliminated from that opportunity, they are not going to pivot from what they're going to say. This is working.
Pull the plug on the coach.
Thinking about this too. I understand listen, you have to understand that this league is volatile like that, though.
Sure.
Like, winning is a premium in this league, and as much as we love JG and we love what's going on, if you can't consistently put wins on the board, the Grim Reaper gonna come knock. He comes knocking for everybody in this league.
Now it starts because you play a team that's 2-0. Jesus, $1.99. This feels like a loss, even though we won. I think a lot of people feel that way. Let it simmer for 24 hours, and we'll go from there. Wanaki, thank you so much back in the chat. We appreciate you, my guy. $5 Canadian. If the problem is the offensive scheme, how is JG Monty okay with an offense that run, pass, don't complement each other? I think they think that this offense complements the defense. I know that that's how they feel. They want to limit the mistakes. They want to play ball control, and they want to run the clock, and they want to play good defense. I don't think that wins championships in the NFL, but we'll see. I mean, it's a long way to go. Almighty Joe, $1.99. McMillan looked like a number 1 receiver more than Marv. Agreed with today. Tedero McMillan and what he was enabled to do by this coaching staff. You look better than Marv. No issue with that. Marv looked great last week, though. And Marv is capable. But I don't know if you can trust. That's the part where people get upset with this team. You can't trust the play caller. They're not a consistent fantasy football team. So I've seen people dogging on Marv because it's like, I can't trust him. I don't think you can trust the play caller. Almighty Joe, Drew Petzing, get ready to learn unemployment. The 90s Poppy, did I already hit this one? $5. Love my birds, but I'm so disappointed in Kyler. He's too inconsistent. The problem is I don't know if it should be mad at him or Petzing. I think it's Drew Petzing. I'm all over the place. Noah, keep me going. Short stack Goblin. Honestly, this team sucks. They're 2-0. We'll see. Sean, $9.99. Thank you, Sean, for the support on that level. No Kyler defender, but he played well outside the interception. Thank you for that adult take, Sean. Defense took some hits, but Def let off the gas pedal. Petzing's scheme is not a scheme. It's us being fleeced. Brittan Golden, you demand. Brittan Golden is the man. And I think that's probably one of the truest super chats thus far. Kind of encapsulates everything. Dana Ballknower, $5. Pin and pull forgotten. Binary options in the passing game. Foot off the gas as soon as they sniff a hint of a lead. No finish from the edge. No issue with that. C. Manic, $4.99. Can't stomach another week of his Murray the Guy combos. He played well. OCDC were too conservative back-to-back weeks. They must do better. I think Kyler Murray, I think most people will look at this game and think the defense screwed around in the fourth quarter and the offense is too inconsistent. I would be disappointed if people were like, this is Kyler Murray blew this game. Like, Kyler Murray played well. Short stack Goblin 199. If you keep Petzing, then JG is on the hot seat. Well, we'll see. Got to see what the record is. Libertarian Sasquatch 199. This team sucks. Fire JG and get Sam Levitt. I watched Sam Levitt. I was in person at the ASU game last. I like Sam Levitt. He is. Sure. He's not better than Kyler Murray right now.
He threw for 82 yards in a loss last week, but yeah, he killed Texas State.
Now their ASU's number one receiver, Jordan. Get Jordan here from ASU. He's a good player. Josh, $2. MHJ on any other team.
He'll be a great run blocker, Dubs.
Yeah, it's about all you're gonna live. You can bring all the receivers you want into this offense right now. It's not gonna matter.
Josh, $2. MHJ and any other team would have 10 TDs and 1,500 yards. That's an extreme. Marvin Harrison Jr. would be a much more productive player on a lot of other teams. I think even Marvin's critics, and Marv did not have a great game today. This scheme stinks for wide receivers. It's terrible. It's gross. They should have never used a pick on a receiver if this is what they're going to do. Dana, $2. Pass game based on guy biting. If not, no dice. There's no rhythm.
100% agree.
Dana knows
it's based on somebody biting on a route, biting on a head fake or a shoulder fake. Because outside of that, if he just stays home and plays what he's supposed to do, ain't nowhere to go with the ball.
Kev Brooks, 199. Kyler's body language plays a huge part for the team. Hard disagree. I think teammates love Kyler.
Pouting it does. I don't want to see the pouting. I get that. I understand why people get upset about that because it's one of those things. Yes, shit's not going your way, right? But you're the quarterback. You can't be on. You can't be on the sideline pouting and upset. Like if you want to be upset, show me some fire. Throw a helmet. Knock a Gatorade. Get something. Do something. Be angry. But don't sit there and pout like these 2 7-year-olds I got sitting in my living room when they get upset with me. Like,
your sons are great. I've never seen them pout. Dana, $2. Routes don't develop at the end of the drop. And then I'm going to agree with Dana. I'm going to piggyback off that. These receivers are 20-year-olds. They're human beings. If I'm going to tell you right now, and I didn't play receiver in the NFL, BG, but if I'm not getting targets, it's hard to stay locked in. This is the reality of the situation, and that goes for a lot of wideouts. Like, who wants to play in an offense where it's like you're going to pass block, you're going to run block, you're not going to have an opportunity?
I think what Dan's trying to say is there's no time for the route to be run because by the end of the drop, or basically by the time Kyler Murray gets to the end of his drop, nothing has developed. The routes haven't shown up, or they're plastered. So it's to the point where now you're seeing people complaining, oh, he's scrambling too much. He's got happy feet. In times, yes, he does have happy feet. Yes, he does get ahead of himself because he gets nervous. But a lot of that goes back to having no comfortability in the pocket. When you do not feel comfortable in the pocket as a quarterback, you're looking for your first read. And when it's not there, I'm immediately going here, right? And we can talk and and say all the nonsense we want sitting in our comfy chairs at home, right, and watching it on TV. But 99.9% of everybody in this chat, myself included, has never snapped a football and stood in the pocket in an NFL game where you've got 7 6'3", 250-pound humans coming for your neck. So it's really easy to sit here and say, oh, Kyler Murray's got happy feet. He's scrambling too much. He's doing this. He's doing that. But when the right tackle that Kyler Murray has is playing the way he's playing, and when guards are getting beat really bad inside, I'm telling you, I bet my house and everything I own, I put you in that pocket, you're sacked. And ain't nobody in this chat on TV watching is outrunning a defensive tackle in this NFL playing quarterback. You ain't doing it. I can promise you. I bet what you got to do. So it's the Kyler Murray.
I might be able to do it.
Times, but it's a different type of beast here.
Luke Thomas, the newest member here. We appreciate you, Luke, becoming a YouTube member. Go nuts with those emojis, my guy. Brian. Will Johnson was not in the last 2 drives on the sideline with no helmet. I was at the game. That's shit. That's not a good sign. There's the Panthers had so many drives that last quarter, so it felt like he was in and he had made that deflection. So not great. Maybe it was caution. I don't know. Dana, the good, tackling better, shoulder to hip. Calais, defensive interior pressure past the eye test. Michael Wilson should have had 2 TDs. Jalen Thompson was good. Akeem Davis-Gaither had a good game too.
Very good game.
Very good game. Let's keep it going here. Mac Daddy, 714-499. Mac Wilson, that was an inexcusable on the onside kick return. Absolutely.
You can't get hit.
What's he doing on hands?
What's he doing on hands? Regardless of team or not, you can't get hit with the ball on the front line. I know you're supposed to go block and get to that guy. I was on the hands team, and I played on the front line a lot of the time. Should I have been up there trying to block somebody? Probably not. I wasn't the best one. But the number one thing is, if you are going to be on that front line, if that ball is coming at you and it is coming hot, get out of the way. Yeah. That's why you've got your hands guys back there. That's why we had Larry Fitzgerald and Michael Floyd and guys like that standing back there. That's why they're there, is to cover that ball up. If that thing's coming off at 40 miles an hour off of the foot, get out of the way. Just get out. Allow that guy that's supposed to catch the ball to try to make a play. If he fumbles it, that's on him. But we are not. You can't get hit on the front line. That can't happen.
Roaring Fork 78. Thank God Carolina made the bad decision to go for 2 way too early. Agreed. Or a field goal ties it late in the game. Yep.
Yeah. Would have been a 1 possession, way earlier than you wanted it to be. But yeah, good job, Canales.
Lou 199. Darius Robinson out there for cardio. Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. No impact plays. But he's out there, and this is his rookie season. Gannon told us in the offseason, this is season 1.5 for Darius. So in the meantime, though, they're getting enough pressure. C. Manic 199. If we have a traditional pocket passer QB, we're 0-2. I think Kyler Murray has been solid to start this year. And you can get away with solid quarterback play against these two teams. He's going to have to be great at some point. And the microscope's going to be on. Libertarian Sasquatch 199. Honestly, why did we draft MHJ? Like, why? It's a great question. It's like the Cardinals in their front office and the cardio bros. He and Darius Robinson.
Every wide receiver on this team is out there for cardio.
AZ Moses 89. Clayton Adams should be this team's OC, not Petzing. I think there's a case for that after 2 weeks this year. Clayton Adams, was he the secret sauce? Canadian Cardinal $2. Marv had 2 open his phone to Malik with 167 yards. Yeah, that's depressing. But again, like I'll preach it. I was guilty. Like I wanted Marv over Malik Neighbors, and we're sitting here into year 2, and for whatever reason, Daboll with Malik and a bunch of journeyman quarterbacks, it looks just way different. It does not look good with Marv, with Drew Petzing and Kyler Murray. Last week we thought, okay, they can build off of this. You take 1 step forward, you take 2 steps back. Beanawonky, $10. Thanks so much. LaFleur can scheme up a 7th round wide receiver open. Kevin O'Connell can get JJ the ball whenever he wants. Daboll knows how to get the ball to Neighbors. How the hell in 2 years has Petzing done nothing with Marv? And this is the concern, Bo. When you hire a defensive head coach, the defense is good. It's overachieved. An offensive league. And, they wanted to go a CEO level coach. And I think Gannon is the right person for the job. But you can make an argument. It's like too loyal to Drew Petzing. There were options to be had. And now he did not. We know for a fact, like they didn't want to be the Matt Eberflus firing coordinators every year. They wanted continuity. It's not any better from last year. In some aspects, it looks worse than the end of last year.
Yeah, I had a similar thought like when it was 27-15 in this game. I'm like, this is still a decent performance, good performance from the defense. And, that kind of got lost as the game wore on. But no, and then we're going to have the questions about the offense. So, yeah, I mean, that's definitely a great point by our guy, Naki.
Shaft, $5. Perfectly said. I picked a bad day to quit drinking. Yeah, that's right. We all did. Picking spreads, Donnie, 199. We worried about Garrett Max injuries.
Yes.
I am. Yes, everyone is.
Very.
And now Will Johnson, supposedly. No corners, but they're favored against the 49ers. Jenga Man, $64, $5. Monty needs to go down to the homeless shelter and have some homeless people scribble lines on some ripped up cardboard so we can level up our offense. Listen, I think there might be a different way to put that. How about Monty Ossenford, Jenga Man, needs to go and talk to his head coach about his offensive coordinator and what the hell is going on here? Because we're 2 years in, and it's like all we did in the offseason was ask about Marv in this passing game, and they said, it'll be fine. We're getting it. Look at all these great routes on air. Looks worse than last year.
Go find somebody that's a pass game for it that knows, that understands concepts.
DB saying $5. Do we have to accept that MHJ won't reach his potential in this offense or on this team? I think we're heading in that trajectory right now. I'm at that point. I think Marvin Harrison Jr., I believe that he is a great player in the making. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. with this offensive coordinator and this structure will never get to where he can be, which is really disappointing. And I think when it's made worse by Malik Neighbors and what he's doing. And I feel for Marvin because I'm not going to sit here and say he's a better player than Malik Neighbors. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a 1,000-yard receiver in the NFL. I don't know what the hell I'm watching, though. It's just not good. It's a really piss-poor offensive scheme. Let's keep going. Picking spreads 199. Already started scouting OTs in 2026. Jonah Williams sucks. Jonah Williams had a really below-average day, and he was pretty awful last week. Bo, do you get any sense they could make a switch at the offensive line, either with he or Isaiah Adams? They have both been bad.
Yeah, no, I think they'll probably stay with the status quo, continuing to the San Francisco. And if something drastic happens, maybe they consider switching the beach, or once Will Hernandez gets, healthy enough to be active on Sundays, then they could really look at making a switch.
Vince, $10. Thank you so much, Vince, for the support on that level. Can we talk about Marv's body catching instead of ripping the ball out of the sky with his hands? Tried to alligator arm that fade in the end zone. I just think of Larry making that catch with his hands. Yeah, I mean, Larry's one of one. I thought, Vince, like with Marv drawing that pass interference penalty, I'm like, yeah, let's force feed him the ball. And, I liked how he responded, Vince, when he stiff armed that linebacker. And I do think Marv, the physical aspect of his game is downplayed. But yeah, you're still making, but you tell me if I'm off base, BG. I feel like Marv's shortcomings are exacerbated because he has such few opportunities. So then the opportunities we do see, it almost feels like, well, now I know I'm not going to get the ball for another quarter and a half. And I felt this way last year. Whereas if you're getting 10 to 12 targets and you have a drop and you have, a pass breakup, it's not under a microscope. I feel like everything he does is under a microscope.
Well, the problem is the target aspect, right? He has so few targets and so few opportunities that when he does make a mistake, it's elevated, right? So the comeback or whatever, the curl, whatever he ran, where the ball went right through his hands, that's going to get elevated because he didn't have any targets before that. And if he did, they were non-existent. They weren't actual targets. But then you have a ball coming right here, and it goes right through your hands, right? Now that's elevated. Everybody sees that, right? And then in the end zone, right? I agree with that. I would love to see him go up with his hands and take that ball out of the sky. He does that, it's probably a touchdown. Because old buddy, he's just throwing for the body catch. Right? He's trying to put an arm in there to make sure that you can't come down with it right here. I would love to see him go up there with his hands and make that play. But again, not having targets, those two plays are going to stick out all day long. That's all we're going to talk about. That's all we're going to see. And that's all we can understand because they were bad mistakes by him. Yes, go take that ball in the sky. You've got the intangibles. You got the body type. You got the height, the length, the hands. Go do it. Go be aggressive.
Let's keep it going here. Everybody like this video. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Did we catch up? Noah, man? Are we up to date on our super chats?
We're all good.
Oh, my goodness. We appreciate everybody. Let's reset here on a PHNX Cardinals post-game show before Bo is escorted out of State Farm Stadium. I'm going to tell you right now, Arizona Cardinals looking ahead to San Francisco. They get a team where I don't think anybody in this fan base is going to be okay preaching injuries when San Francisco is down their starting quarterback, their starting tight end, starting wide receiver, and they're producing. And I dog on the Niners a lot. They got a hell of a coaching staff with Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh. Bo, I'll start with you. What's the recipe for success knowing that you're going to be down multiple DBs against Mac Jones and or Brock Purdy?
You got to dial up the pressure. It's going to come from the defensive front seven. I thought you saw some guys out there like Keitrell, Denzel Burke, they can compete. Are they equipped enough to really kind of make plays, play in and play out? That remains to be seen. Very young, inexperienced there. So you're going to have guys up front really kind of control this game. But also you're going to have to put points up when the opportunity presents itself. You got to help out that defense that is now undermanned, especially in the secondary. You're going to have to consistently put up points. And if Spencer Rattler is engineering, how many touchdown passes did he have today, John?
Three.
He had 3. You're going to have to match that. You're going to have to at least match that and go in there and show that you can make a jump, a drastic jump offensively from week 1 and week 2 and to week 3 and do it on the road in a hostile environment, but where the stakes are a little bit higher because you're playing within your division.
Yeah, BG, you look at the landscape of this team. We dogged on the offense for an hour and 40 minutes. It's a chance the next couple of weeks, maybe a month, you're going to have to look at this as an offensive team because guess what? All your offensive players are healthy. Your defense needs you to pick it up. Do they have the infrastructure? Can they do it?
That's one thing. I agree with both in terms of pressure. You're going to have to dial up some pressures this week. You're going to have to help that secondary out. You're going to have to try to get Mac Jones as ruffled as you had Bryce Young the first couple drives. Those first 2 drives on defense looked like it was going to be a really, really long day for Bryce Young and the Panthers. Like I think I texted our group chat. I said, this is a game that you score 50 points in right now with what's going on. Like, you have to. But on the flip side, as an offense, you've got to be able to control the clock. And when you control the clock, you have to be able to put points on the board and not field goals. To beat San Fran, even a depleted San Francisco team, this is a divisional game, right? It's gonna mean it means more, and there's always grimy and more stuff is always going on. It means a little bit more in especially in this division, right? People don't like each other in this division. That's why it's been one of the toughest divisions in football for a while. But it's that sense, like, offensively, you've got to move the football downfield, and that's going to come with big plays, not dumping it off 5 yards and getting 3-yard pass plays and getting 2-yard run plays. You're going to have to open it up. So Petzing is going to have to reach in his bag. It's not very deep right now. It's about as deep. You get a Crown bottle. That's about how deep that bag is with his bag right now, right? But he's going to have to reach in there and find some concepts that work in this passing game. And at the same time, talk to that offensive line. You guys have got to play on the other side of the line. You've got to give these running backs an opportunity to get downfield. These 2-yard runs and going 3 and out you're not going to win this game. If you put this same offense we've seen in the last 2 weeks on this field next week, you're going to lose the divisional game, and you will be 2-1. We'll be sitting here on this podcast bashing this group again.
Almighty Joe 499. Welcome to Arizona, where receivers are drafted. Have an OC who coaches like a guy who spams the run on Madden. And
that's Arizona now. Arizona between 2013 and 2017, receivers were flourishing.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'll piggyback off of my 2 co-hosts here. This is the most pivotal stretch because they're waiting on to hear back for some guys. We would assume some guys are going to be done for the year. You've been carried by your defense parts of the second half of last year.
Mm-hmm.
You've been carried by your defense in large stretches these first 2 weeks. Defensive touchdown today, 13 points last week. This is where if you're Jonathan Gannon, you have to go to your offensive play caller and say, okay, can we score 30 points? Can we score 28 points? That's what it's going to take. We're going to get some stops. The front 7 still has the infrastructure. You're going to get some players back eventually. You cannot expect to have the kind of defensive performances it's going to take to win games ugly. Bo, I cannot believe we're at this point now. But you know what? I don't want to say it's a blessing in disguise. This offense has a ceiling right now. You need to break through that ceiling with some new innovation.
Yeah, in the next 2 weeks, you're going to have 2 games within a span of 5 days, 2 divisional games in a span of 5 days, and you're not going to be at full strength for either one of those. So it's so crucial for them to kind of figure it out and get it going to when you're going to be able to play the ball control game and going to be able to cash in. Because if you don't, it's going to be a long, quick burst stretch here. You don't want to come out of this, 2-2 and squandering an opportunity to really get off to a hot start and stack some wins.
Yep, absolutely. Luke Thomas, $20 super chat. Unbelievable. Arizona Cardinal fans were found to be the heaviest drinkers, according to a survey by the Action Network. Probably this outlier, because I can't take phantom calls much longer. I mean, I'm just thankful the officials didn't outright cost the Cardinals the game, Luke, but it was close. But a win is a win, and you take that. I've seen far worse finishes, and the Cardinals, they finished the job today without Will Johnson, Garrett Williams, and Max Melton. And now you could be in a position where you lose all 3 of them indefinitely. They're going to have to dig deep again next week. Welcome to the NFL, where injuries happen. I don't want to gloss over the injuries, but it's the NFL. You got to figure it out. George, 199. BG, give me something positive.
I mean, listen, we talked about it. Outside of Kyle's interception, he played well, right? I mean, your tight ends looked good in the passing game, but I mean, that's really the only focal point of the passing game we have. But they did what they were supposed to do. Defense looked good to a certain point, right? You had bad situations. You didn't get off the field at times, but there was wins on the defensive side. So, I mean, the most positive thing about this game is the W. That's it, right? You got to win. It was ugly, but you got to win, and we move on to San Fran.
What about 39-year-old Calais Campbell? My
And
God.
Calais,
Yeah.
that's probably the most positive thing about this football team right now, for being honest. Like, he's older. There's guys on this football team that were 5 years old when he was a rookie in this NFL. Let's just be honest, all right? And he was literally the star of the show today. I mean, in the run game, he showed up. In the pass game, he showed up. He's there, right, at 39 years old. So, I mean,
He was in the blue tent too. I mean, he
in the
took a
blue
long
tent.
time.
Lord knows what was going on, man. I mean, he came off. It looked bad at first, but he walked off under his own power. So it was like, you know, it's a thankful thing. Dalvin Tomlinson looked pretty good at times today too. So there's positives on the team, but there's a whole bunch of negatives as well. You just got to find ways to make the positives outshine the negatives.
I'll say this. I think you're going to see this team sign multiple street free agent corners.
There's going to be a massive defensive back workout on Tuesday.
They're gonna have to. I mean, like, do you call a certain corner ball from Philadelphia once upon a time, and you start to think about? I mean, that's what they're looking at. Because I expect, kind of getting tipped off here, I expect all three to miss time, and the severity of each, I have no idea. But like ahead of this week, like, you need bodies. I mean, do they look at a Bradbury? I think that's one of the first calls you make, is you call James Bradbury, who played for Jonathan Gannon. Asante Samuel Jr. Nick's interesting, but I think he's had a procedure. Yeah. I think he's out. I think you're going to have to look at practice squad guys from other teams, but I think the first call you make, Bo, is to James Bradbury.
Yeah, you probably elevate a guy like Darren Hall.
Yeah.
But
is Stephon Gilmore playing right now?
I believe he's signed.
Okay, I was about to say, I didn't know if he was on a team or not. But regardless, if he's not, like, yes, I know he's. They
had his brother Stephen Gilmore, real thing, in training camp. So that's not the right Gilmore, but it might be an option.
I understand he's been in the league for a while, but still, like, it's a veteran presence that could help you out.
You need to bail water until hopefully one or multiple of these guys are able to come back. And here's the good news. Again, it's Mac Jones next week. You assume. I think because the Niners won today and Mac Jones played well, I don't believe they're going to rush Purdy back. I think that they're going to allow Mac Jones to play next week. They said that they're not confident that Brock Purdy will play next week, but there's a chance. I think that sense of urgency would have turned up, but now they feel like, well, we can start Mac Jones. You don't want to forfeit a game, Bo, but you feel like if you're the Niners, okay, we can put him in there. And Pat P walking through that door.
Enough money to get Pat P out of retirement. Pat P is killing it in the golf world right now. You're gonna have to come out with some bread to get Pat P to come back.
Final thoughts here. I mean, this has been a banner post-game show, almost 2 hours. Wow. 1,300 live viewers, 60 plus super chats. I ask everybody, if you be so kind, like this video and subscribe to PHNX Sports. We do Cardinal content every single day. We've got live shows almost every day, 4:30, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and, of course, full wall-to-wall coverage, Bo, on Sundays. And we got bangers of articles coming out right now by our guy Alex at GoPHNX.com.
Can't wait to read that once we get off air. It's been a banner day. Return for the playmaker for this podcast, Brittan Golden, just crushing it. Good to have BG back in the fold the rest of the way from here on out.
Fire it up, everybody. We appreciate all of you. Again, hammer that like button. Cardinals moved to 2-0. We'll take it undefeated as they head to a showdown with the 49ers a week from Sunday. What's this roster going to look like? We know what this show is going to look like. It's your bros on the screen. Noah Man behind the mic, crushing it. Subscribe, like this video. For Bo, Brittan, Noah, I'm Johnny Venerable. We'll see you Monday, Victory Monday. It's PHNX.
We all silly like the mayor.